Welcome to Idea Tennis, where we challenge ideas, elevate thinking, and serve up conversation that make you question everything.
It's either right or it's wrong. It's getting you closer to where you want to be or it's pulling you further from your goals. People's opinions do not pay the bills. When you work from a place of desperation, things never work out. Because your network is your net worth. And that could be lots of different things, not just money, right?
The community have spoken, Jess. They need a Q&A day with Jess. So we're going to do a Q&A with Jess today and just ask a few questions from the community and I'll get you to share with some of your thoughts on these questions. So today in Idea Tennis, Jessica get to do her best work like she always do with us. We just answer all our questions. We got all these questions that just boil on the inside. So Jess, we got about 8 questions for the time we have here to talk about. And I would love to get your feedback on that for the team, for the folks that are listening. And but let me check in with you. How are you doing this morning, lady? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to hear what these 8 questions are going to be. I can only imagine, but I'm looking forward to hearing what the community wants to know.
First, I want to know if you're doing well and you're healthy and everything is great. So that was one of the big questions. How are you doing, Jess? How everything is going great with you?
Everything is going great. Feeling incredibly blessed and grateful. Amazing things have not only happened for me, but for the community of people that I work with, and being able to create momentum for everyone has been an incredible blessing. It is so much easier. You said it earlier before we went live. It is so much easier to keep that momentum going than it is to even create it. That's the hard part. And so being able to help people keep that momentum going, not just to feel inspired and energized, but to have the actual know-how on what it is they need to do in order to excel and get to the next thing that's waiting for them to arrive.
So this one question is from, should we say names? Or should we
That's not
keep?
you. I'm just answering. You're the
All right.
boss
So
here.
so I'm gonna go with Desiree question because Desiree
Okay.
had some questions here too. So how you stay focused when life happens, Jess? That's the question. How you stay focused when life happens?
It's something a lot of people struggle with. And I don't want it to sound dismissive when I say it's very simple for me. My reason why and my commitment to my goals and what I want, that helps keep me focused and committed. On days that I don't want to, I don't think about I'm tired. It's been a long few months. I don't think about all the excuses because excuses are not reasons. And reasons don't justify the actions that you take. It's either right or it's wrong. It's getting you closer to where you want to be or it's pulling you further from your goals. And for me, at this point in my life, what I want is to create impact. I want to be of service to others. So when I'm waking up and I'm not maybe feeling my 100% greatest, or it's been a lot of long nights and early mornings, and I just want to lay in the bed, I don't think about what I want. I think about what I want to be able to do for others, the impact that I'm going to have in their life. And for everyone, their why is different. Maybe you're doing something different so that your kids could have a different life. That needs to be your focus. When you get knocked down with the nose and with all the craziness that the world comes at you with, don't focus on how it's making you feel. Focus on why you need to get back up and what the motivation is that's driving you. Because then at that point, there is no reason, excuse, or rationale to walk away from what it is that you're doing because it's something greater than you. It's not how you feel. It's not if you're tired. If it's not, do you think that I don't want to be on a beach right now, on vacation somewhere? I am long overdue for a vacation.
Puerto Rico.
Yes, it's calling my name, like for real. I'll get to that. But in the meantime, I have something greater than me that I am focused on. And when you take it off of you and you focus on your why and you focus on what it is that you're ultimately working towards creating, consistency just becomes a part of your everyday.
I'm gonna tag here too because this is something I love about you. And the folks recognize that too. Is you mentioned the word commitment too, and the next one to that is courage, right? Because when you meet somebody, you're looking for commitment and you're looking for courage in them. Because if I recognize that in you, I will follow you anywhere, right? And I will get up and ride with you anywhere because I know you're committed and I know you're courageous. And I can see those two playing like they're like brothers and sisters. They go together. And without them, without that in you, people gonna walk away from you. And when life happens, and life's gonna happen, but when life happens and you lost your commitment, your courage, it's very hard to keep people around. Very hard. And I see that a lot. So when I meet people like you that are that you when you're like, Ash, I don't feel so well, I just got flu, I just got sick, but you're still committed and you show courage toward that thing that's oh my God. That's tough to fall in love with. You know?
I will say this. I've
Mm-hmm.
had people within my community that were about to walk away from their dreams. If you could even imagine as a possibility, walk
Mm-hmm.
away from their businesses, from their dreams, for what they had been working so hard for so many years
Mm-hmm.
until they became a part of my community because
Mm-hmm.
we're consistent. We
Mm-hmm.
were consistency then turns into reliability and one of the things that I believe, I show up for me.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, whether or not people show up on the screen or in person, I showed up because that was the commitment that I made to
Mm-hmm.
be there, to do something that I said I was going to do. And so
Mm-hmm.
the people that show up with me, they get the best of me, right? Because I want to be there. I gave my commitment. And the people that don't show up, it's a disservice to themselves. I say you show up however, you show up alone, you show up late, just don't show up ugly, but show up. That is the most important part is
Wait,
showing.
wait, 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 wait. You gotta define ugly. Is that being nasty with your words?
With me,
But,
if I'm going out, you're gonna see me all glammed, my hair done, my makeup on. I'll be a few minutes late, maybe, but I'm gonna be all done up. But in all seriousness, it's about the commitment. And
mm-hmm.
so when people realize that being part of a community means consistency, reliability, accountability. Someone's going to notice when you're not there. Someone's going to reach out and be like, "Are you good?" Those are
Mm-hmm.
the things that create meaning in a person's journey, right? That they weren't allowed to fall too far behind because the community was watching out for them. And I think that a lot of us, when we try to do things on our own, isolated sometimes, or on our own, kind of, I say, giving the world a little bit, a piece at a time, and not just putting it out there and say, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm looking for some help. I'm hoping you can help me because I don't think I can do this alone. And
Mm-hmm.
and watch what happens. Things feel different. They change the perspective because now it's not just people don't show up for Jessica. They show up because of what Jessica is going to pour into them
Mm-hmm.
and what they're going to get because they showed up.
Mm. So here's another question she had too. So how do you stay motivated when conversations don't go well?
Hmm. How do I stay motivated when conversations don't go well?
Listen, you showed up speaking Spanish and somebody started speaking English. Like,
All right. So this is what I'm going to say about
mm-hmm.
I learned that people's opinions don't pay the bills.
Say that again. No, say that again.
People's opinions do not pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, everyone has the right to their own opinion. Now, sometimes you're speaking to people about things that are factual. Can they have an opinion about the facts that you're sharing? Absolutely. But they cannot change that the facts are the facts.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you walk into a situation and you're having a conversation with somebody and they're trying to manipulate the facts are the facts. You stay rooted in knowing that what you're saying is real and true. I will say that one of the greatest things I've had to learn, and I learned this from my coach, is that calm could become my new superpower. So learning to stay calm in the face of adversity, whatever adversity is. So when somebody's disagreeing with you, when you see something unjust happening, when you see even excitement, like you want to share the excitement with something or about something, and you're like in a professional setting and you got to remain calm and composed, that's a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have not a very good poker face. Like my face would say everything that the words were saying for me. They really would. And every once in a while, you'll see that still happen. But for the most part, really becoming calm and not reacting, but responding to people. And then sometimes you have to have conversations with yourself of it is not worth it to get into it with this person. If they're saying no, think about this. How many times has someone approached you about an opportunity in life? It doesn't have to be business, it could be any opportunity. And even before they've said the last word, you already responded no.
Mm.
How can you honestly say no to something that you don't know? Is it a reflection of you, or is it a reflection of the person offering you the opportunity?
Mm.
It's most definitely a reflection of you.
You know, I always compliment you on this, and it's the pitch skill that you have, and pitching makes a difference. If you don't pitch right, don't blame it on the thing you're pitching. Blame it on the way you pitch. Because when you say the conversation doesn't go well, it's all about how you pitch. Like, how do you speak? How do you share? So you go back to your pitching skills. So oftentimes, for example, when I came to this country, Asher English was really bad. I'm saying just really bad. And when I speak to people, that was like, what is this guy talking about? And I didn't, it messed with my self-esteem for when I realized it's just my language. I'm just not speaking language where they understand. So when it don't go well in a conversation, because I'm just not good at communicating. So I go back and I gotta get good at communicating because it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's got to do with how I'm using my words, right? So if your pitch is not great, you got to work on the pitch because oftentimes I can't tell you what's on my mind if I don't know the right language to tell you it, and it comes back to how I speak again. So that's just my take on that.
No, I agree. I think that the message and the messenger are equally as important. I think
Mm-hmm.
that there are, and we said this privately, when you're pitching, there are certain pillars
Mm-hmm.
to a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that you need to focus on when you're pitching. I will also say that when you're pitching, you're not pitching your product, your idea, your service, ever.
Mm-hmm.
You're pitching the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
You're pitching what someone could expect to have, to receive, to experience based on your offer.
Mm-hmm.
Because the conversation sounds much different. The pitch is much different.
And the pitch got a volume too. Low
Yes.
pitch, high pitch.
The lean in part of the pitch. Yes. There is body language to the pitch. There is tone to the pitch. There
Mm-hmm.
is, I say, a great pitch will not only make you feel a certain way, but you can visualize the
Mm-hmm.
outcome for yourself based on how good a person was able to pitch it to you. We're going to say offer it to you, their offer.
But going back to Desiree's question too, sometimes expectation in a situation you're expecting a certain outcome, and when that person they're not going that direction, you feel like, it's not going the right way because you're trying to control the situation. But then if you realize what that person really wants, or what is that person dreams, and I'm talking about your dream, of course you're gonna follow me because they're in it for themselves. So then go back to, hey, what does this person really, really want? And can I speak to that thing that they really want versus the thing that I want them to have from me?
And that's what most people don't do. Most
Mm,
people are so focused on what they want, what they need, what they're trying to accomplish, that they're not thinking about the person that they're speaking to. And what do they want? What do they need? What do they want to accomplish? And how can you add value to one another? The other thing I will say is that when you talk about someone not seeing your vision, it doesn't mean they can't support your vision in other ways, but perhaps their vision is different. It looks different, it sounds different, it could complement what you're offering and what you're doing. But I think that when you go into a conversation with expectation, the likelihood is you will be disappointed.
Mm.
Learning to not have any expectation. The other part is when somebody says no to you, you should be grateful. You should be grateful. Why do I say that? Because when someone said no to you, straight out the gate, first off, I love me that person because they're not wasting my time.
They know what they want.
Yes. They're not leading me on to tell me no 3 months from now or 3 weeks from now or even 3 days from now.
Maybe
Time is,
persons are the worst. The
yes,
maybes are the worst.
yes. Time is the most valuable commodity we have. If you are going to respect me enough to say, no, I don't want to waste your time. And I will also say this, no is not a no for forever. No is a no for right now. And no for them doesn't mean that they don't know somebody else that they could connect you to. That's the other part, right? It's not about the one person. It's about the possibility that one person could offer to you. I also feel like it's God's way of saying, yeah, no, that is not the right person you should be collaborating with, working with. No, not everyone is meant to work with you. Not all the people are your people. And you need to be okay with that. I'm also going to say when you're working with people, however you're working with them, other than a job where you get hired and someone else is in control of hiring the other people. But when you're building community, when you're building a business, when you're building a team, when you are building even hobby group or anything like that, the number one thing that's the most important in the people that you invite into your community is that you like them.
Mm.
That you like them, that you feel their energy, that they, when you're in their presence, that you want to be there, you want to stay in that room, you have a good time. That is the number one quality that you are looking for when you are building community, that you like the people that you're working with, that you don't just work with anybody because they have a pulse and a heartbeat, right? You don't want those types of individuals in your circle because that's desperation. And I will say this because I've been there and I've done that. When you work from a place of desperation, things never work out.
That's a very obvious energy, by the way. People can see it. But we're gonna transition into some more questions. Keisha got a lot of questions, but we're gonna start with this one. I think it ties in very well. She says, "What kind of support or mentorship have you received?" Because you mentioned your coach earlier. So, what kind of support or mentorship have you received in your journey as being an entrepreneur?
And that's a great question. So I've had a lot of incredible mentors in the course of my life. Very, I would say, strong women who knew what they want, who knew their value, who knew when and when not to compromise, who held me to a greater standard than I held myself, who saw me for who I was and not who I used to be and not even who I was becoming. They accepted me, flaws and all, and they pushed me. I say they pushed me hard with love to be able to do the hard things that were necessary for me to achieve my goals. I think that the best thing that a mentor could do for you is to help you know better. And what do I mean by know better? I think that sometimes we have people in our life, family, friends, spouse, whatever. They see you make a mistake. And everyone makes mistakes. No one's perfect. We're all perfectly imperfect. That's the beauty about people. And it's a mistake. It's not a life or death mistake, but it's a mistake. But no one has enough courage to tell you out loud that was a mistake. And that maybe if you thought about the mistake and did something different, you could have a different outcome. You could learn from it. You could be better. You could do better. But no one has the courage to really tell you that was a mistake. And so for me, one of the best things all of my mentors did for me was respect me enough to tell me that was a mistake. The other thing that they did, and I say this a lot to a lot of people because I truly believe this. I can only give you my expertise, my experience, my know-how, what I know works, and what I've seen not work. It is up to you to decide what you ultimately want to do. And I think that when you have a mentor that can trust you enough to even say, I'm not going to argue with you. You feel so strong that you want to try X, Y, Z, and you want to do it that way because of ABC. Go try it. Go do it. Let's see how it works. Or maybe if it doesn't work, what can we learn from it? Because that to me is like, whew, instead of clipping my wings, you gave me wings. You let me learn from whether it's my mistake ultimately that it's going to be, or learn something new, something that didn't work maybe for them, but now worked for me because of something different that I did. And so I think that when you're looking for a mentor, you're looking for someone you can connect with, you could trust, that respects you, that has been where you've been, that can give you the hard truth, that pill that most people don't like to swallow, that they can give it to you, but with as much love, empathy, and understanding, because to me, that's what makes a good mentor.
I got to add this here because you made me think about something. When you talk about the feedback, getting feedback from mentors. And you know something, I've been in the military, right? Tell you the story. I've been in the military, and then you've been around a lot of people. Like in the military, we always working out, doing stuff, right? And then you're around people, and they work out, but they smell, right? And sometimes they don't take a shower, like at a certain point, they might do. And somebody like, hey, bro, like when you work out, you gotta make sure you go take a shower right after or something, whatever. But you don't show up to work coming from that space of because there's an odor to you. And that person's like, oh, I appreciate you telling me that because they don't smell themselves the same way you smell them. So when it comes to getting feedback from other people, like you don't smell yourself the way other people smell you. When somebody says, hey, bro, you got an odor, when you put this much energy into this thing, you got to listen and be like, oh, that person respect me enough to let me not go out there in the world and everybody smelling me like this, right? You got to respect and appreciate that feedback, but sometimes people take offense. But I'm like, no, bro, I didn't know I smell like this. But thank you for telling me. I'm going to go wash my ass right now, making sure I don't smell in front of the wrong people, right? Because if I smell in front of you, you're not gonna condemn me or give me all that judgment. Like, you're my friend. But you let me know that, hey, bro, you smell after you work out, so make sure you take a shower before you get to work on the next level of activity. So that's something you made me thought about just now.
Because that person is ready to know better so that they could do better.
Mm-hmm.
When someone is saying to you, no, man, I don't smell, that's because they're not ready to do better. That's
Mm-hmm.
because they're okay being, in this scenario, stinky. Because as far as they're concerned, the stink doesn't bother them. And so they're not in that place to grow, to do better, to know better. And ultimately, that's how we get closer to our goals and doing the things we want to do, is to surround ourselves with community, with people, with mentors, and experiences that will allow us to be able to grow.
Okay. So now the question, like I said, Keisha got some questions. You might ask him, trying to ask him the best way to align him. So what strategies have worked best for you in growing your network?
Good question. So I'm going to say that I, over the course of years, have made deliberate decisions to place myself in rooms with people, even if I'm not always invited into the room. I'm going to find a way into that room. right? Because your network is your net worth. And
Mhm.
that could be lots of different things, not just money, right? And so, what I'll give you an example. I was someone's plus one to an event recently. Just so happens that the event is in my backyard. I suspected I was going to know a lot of people at that event. Sure enough, I did. Sure enough, I also met somebody at that event that I had met one time before and really connected with, and only followed that person on social media. And they had reached out to me and asked me if I would do an interview with them. And I said yes. And then the universe decided it wasn't the time for whatever reason. And then sure enough, he's there at this event. I go to this event with no expectation of anything other than connecting with people and collecting business cards. When I go to the event and I see this guy, it was like he was my best friend and he reunited with me. At that event, unbeknownst to me, he asked me, can he do a spotlight? He had just been given a local TV show and he wants me on it eventually to talk about something that's both meaningful to us that has to do with personal life. And I was like all about it and I said yes. And he said, let me do a quick video. I have my microphone. And sure enough, at the event that has over 400 people, music blasting, he whips out his little microphone and he says, it was less than, I think, 90 seconds, but he's going to spotlight me. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Now, this was weeks ago. And sure enough, when I woke up yesterday, he had posted on Instagram. Now, because I said yes to the invitation of the plus one on a weeknight when I had something else to do, but I thought enough of being in that room that I made arrangements for someone else to cover the something else because I knew what was waiting for me, even though I didn't know exactly what. I knew what I wanted. I knew the energy I was going to bring into that room, and I knew the purpose I had when I went to that room. Yes, to support my friends, but equally as important, to meet as many people and connect with as many people as I could. And so, because of that, now a new door has opened. So, positioning yourself and being purposeful in the places that you go and having a mission when you go to them. Sometimes it's to meet new people, to make connections, to create customers, to create referrals, to add value. How could I be of service to you? Let's meet up for coffee and talk about what you have to offer and what I have to offer and how we can maybe be a referral source or some type of value to one another. Building relationships is that way to be able to expand your circle of influence and your network.
I saw that video, by the way. I
I
saw
was
it.
surprised by it. It was so unexpected. And you know me, I don't like that.
Hey, but you rocked it.
Okay.
You rocked it as well. Okay, so then next question is, how do you respond to skepticism or negative opinion about network marketing?
I'm going to say this. Network marketing is a really, I say, it's a double-edged sword. It is a phenomenal opportunity. What other opportunities, businesses, even jobs do you know that everyone starts with the equal playing field and can create six or more figures? Their
Mm.
terms, their time, doing something that they ultimately enjoy. There are not many opportunities, if any, outside of network marketing that exist. Now, the best part I say about network marketing are the people. And the worst part about network marketing are the people. Why? Because you will come across more people that say they want something, but aren't willing to put in the work for that something, that their actions and their words don't align, that they think that it's fast money, it's quick money, it's not happening fast enough. Let's be real. Let's talk about how fast do you expect to make 5, 6 figures? What's realistic? I put it out there when I'm speaking to people and offering them opportunity within network marketing of what's realistic to expect. And if that's the expectation, what you need to deliver, what you need to do, the action you need to take. And so you could have excuses and reasons why you don't take the action, or you could have excuses and reasons of why this was your only focus and you decided to go for it with everything that you had. When people are skeptical, What is it that they're skeptical of? I never tried to convince anyone of anything other than that they have purpose and worth. And my opportunity may not be for them, but I want them to know that they have purpose and worth. And whatever it is that they decide to do, if it's God's plan for them in their life, it will happen for them. I never close a door in terms of building a relationship with an individual. If they say no to my opportunity, they're not saying no to me. They're saying no to themselves ultimately. Because if they haven't seen it, they haven't really looked into it, what is it that they're saying no to? And so the people that are skeptical, listen, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm from the Bronx. We don't trust a lot of people. Everything's a scheme or a scam. I don't even, so back in the day, and this goes to show like my age, you'd walk down the street and people would try to sell you a CD. For those of you who are young and listening to this, a CD had music on it, right? How did you know that you paid whatever, $5 for the CD, and there was even anything on it when you got home? Right? I wouldn't pay for it. I'd be like, no, bye, thanks. But that was their hustle. Maybe there really was music, but I wasn't going to lose my $5 because I didn't know 100% if there was music or not. But who knows? Maybe if I would have bought the $5 CD, I could have gotten in on some like Big Pun before he was Big Pun. I don't know. But I was too skeptical to lose and too afraid to lose my $5 that I didn't buy the CD on the street. And so, yes, there is a certain level of skepticism, but the reality is, like, pyramids are illegal. Are there companies that are incentivized by recruiting and people? Yes. Are there companies that are not incentivized by recruiting and people, but that's a part of the process? Yes. Are there companies that the only incentive is to sell, sell, sell? Absolutely, yes. You need to find and connect with people that are looking for what it is that you have. And my answer to that, be as clear, as concise, as straightforward, and as transparent as you can be. Don't add the fluff. Don't make it sound better than what it is. Don't mislead somebody, and make the offer. What the potential outcome would be if they said yes. That's how I've been able to, I say, become, I could talk to anybody about anything. They can tell me no all they want all day. They ain't gonna bother me. Why? Because I know what I have. I know what I bring to the table. I know my worth. I know my value. I know the work that I put in, and I know what I can help somebody else do.
Here's something that to think about as well. There is no market without network. And then when you think about the market, right? Think about your market, because you got to think about the marketplace and the market itself. If I'm a person that my market is people that wants to write a book, that's my market. How do I connect to that market? Most likely I go to a bunch of network that is not my network, right? But I got to find the people that are in my market space. So how do I find them? I got to talk to other people because they know people that, my friend was talking about writing a memoir. Okay, let me connect you to that person because I got to find my market. And we got to put in a lot of work to find the market that we want to serve. And if we know what that market is, then we can go talk to those people that are in that marketplace. Everybody gather here like that event. They went there because they're looking for people to connect because I want to find my market too. And it takes time to find your market. Yeah, go to some people that don't believe you and they're skeptical and all that other stuff to find your market, but I'm going to find my market.
Yes. And I think that's incredibly important for your market. So yes, it's people that want to write a book, but even when you bring it down even to a tighter niche of the type of people that want to write a book, you're not going to say no to money. So anyone that wants to write a book, hit up Asher. He's your guy. But the people that you are extremely passionate about working with are immigrants, veterans, and entrepreneurs, because that is who you are. And so because of that, those are the people you are looking to attract into your community. Same as me. I have a niche market. I have a group of people that I want to work with to help elevate to achieve success. And it's not women, it's not only women. I say my market, me, I want to connect with Black, brown, and Latino people. I want to build my community of powerful individuals that bring different talents and skill sets to the table, that want to do something but don't know where to start, or people that started something but don't know how to grow it to make it scale. Those are the people I want to connect with. I want to connect with people who want to be those generational change makers in their life for their family. I want to connect with people that understand that the only limit they have are the limits that they place on themselves, that surrounded with the right people, surrounded with a great business, an opportunity, a way to create income outside of a job, even multiple streams of income is the way you secure your financial future. That no matter what it is, we've all heard 7 streams of income. All right, but how do I get the 7 streams of income? I don't have money to invest in the stock market. So how do you get money then to invest in the stock market? You want to buy Bitcoin, but you ain't got no money to buy Bitcoin? Let me show you how I can help you make money to go and buy Bitcoin. Because now you got 2 streams of income, the one that I just taught you, and then a Bitcoin. And so where are we going to go from there? And so those are the types of people that I am looking to connect with. And those people live all over the country. Don't sleep on them, not just in New York. And I don't care the age of the person. You're 18, you're 65, whatever it is that is the reason why you want more at any stage in life and you're willing to go for it, but you just need a mentor, an opportunity. Like, those are my people.
No, you said it pretty good. Let me find some more questions because Keisha got more for you. But here's another one. So how do you balance product sales with business building?
That's really good. I used to struggle with that, actually, because when I first started over 10 years ago, the focus solely for me was sales because I needed money. I was desperate at that time in my life. I needed money. And for me, the quick fix to the money was the sales. And so I wasn't necessarily focused in on the business building aspect, the long-term income opportunity. I was interested in the, I guess you could say, fast cash now. And so I didn't find balance. And what I realized was any business that you're building, you need the infrastructure in addition to the sales. And so I wasn't building that infrastructure. What I was creating was not sustainable because it was only dependent on me. And so to be able to scale any business, traditional or non-traditional business, you need that infrastructure. And so being able to figure out how do you balance sales and infrastructure within a company or a business or even a network or a team. And that to me was equally finding that everything didn't need to be all or nothing, that I could sometimes even do both at the same time. Why? Because some of my best partnerships started off as customers. So being able to introduce product to people. And the other thing is, I truly believe that sales require you offering a solution or being of value to someone and providing them with a product or service that they need or desire in their life. So I'm not going to try to sell you, Asher, a red lipstick, right? You don't want that. You don't need that. You don't desire that. You keep that in your room, and your lady friend comes over and she's, wait, whose red lipstick is this? You don't need that in your life, right? But if you tell me, Jess, I love cheese buns, I haven't been able to eat them in years because I have a problem with dairy. I'm like, I got you, Asher. I'm gonna give you these digestive enzymes to try out for a few days. Make sure you eat a cheese bun, one of them. Let me know how you feel. Right? I'm offering you something to try that you have a need for. I'm not trying to sell you something you don't have a need for. You come back to me when I follow up with you and you say to me, I don't know what in those digestive enzymes help me, but they help me. And I want more cheese buns in my life and maybe even a little scoop of ice cream every now and then. Where can I get some more from? And now I sold you a whole box or a whole bottle of those digestive enzymes. And now I'm not just going to stop there. We're going to build a relationship. We're going to talk not just about product, but about life, about, you have a daughter in college? I didn't know you had a daughter in college. Wait, how many sisters or brothers you have? Wait, where do they live? Oh, and then you're asking about me. How old? At today's Eric's birthday, how old is he just? Right. We're building relationship. We're getting to trust and know each other. I'm going to say to you, Asha, do you know some people that could benefit from the products you just bought? Yes. Why don't we do something with some of those people? Now, two things are going to happen. I'm going to be led to people that I wouldn't have known had I not offered you those digestive enzymes and they worked, right? So at the end of the day, ultimately, maybe I'm getting some sales. At the very least, I'm getting some sales. But then you come to me because we built a relationship of trust and understanding and we communicate about what this actually is. And you're like, wait, that's how you build business? You just share the product with other people? How can I start my own business with you? How can I get the same benefits? And so I really focus, yes, retail to recruit is one way of breaking it down. But the other thing is I just go for a direct approach. I have a pitch. You guys can hear it in the coaching program, but I have a pitch that I use, and I call it a universal pitch that anyone can use for any business, any product, or any service that they have. And at the end of the day, balancing sales and infrastructure requires a plan. So what is it that your goal is for sales? What is it that your goal is for business growth, for scaling that business? And how are we going to back into that to create a sustainable long-term income for you and your business?
That was powerful, by the way. You a master at this, I tell you what. Here's another question. What are some common misconceptions about business and entrepreneurship?
I think one is that sometimes people count themselves out even before they get into the game, that they think that being an entrepreneur is a certain type of person, or having your own business, you have to look, sound a certain way, you have to have a certain amount of education or money or anything like that. And none of that is true. Entrepreneurship or business ownership looks different for lots of different people. You have lots of different types of businesses and lots of different types of entrepreneurs. You have people that have traditional businesses and companies and non-traditional businesses and companies. And then you have people that are entrepreneurs that don't have companies, but have a service or a product. I'm going to tell you some of the best things that I have purchased as, I'm going to say, knickknacks, so to speak, are like from Etsy. I love Etsy. I don't get paid from Etsy. I'm not on Etsy, but I love Etsy. Why? Because people pour their hearts into creating something and then selling it on this platform. I started my love of, and if you see me on the business side outside of this podcast, I'm usually wearing some type of inspirational or motivational shirt, a t-shirt or a sweatshirt that says some profound message. And so I started that because of a shirt that I found on Etsy. And then I went down this rabbit hole of looking for more shirts and looking for more shirts. And I was finding all these entrepreneurs, people who fell in love with a craft and decided to create income from it. Does that person have the same amount of value as the CEO of a seven-figure company? Absolutely. Why? Because they both had one thing in common. They had a dream and they went for it. And that's the only thing that you need to become a business owner, to become an entrepreneur. Damon John has this thing that he says that you don't need money to make money. He started FUBU out of the trunk of his car in Queens, New York. And so those are the things that I want to be able to remind people. You don't need money to make money. And
you need customers, though.
Yes, you need customers. Absolutely. But customers, you can get customers without money.
That's right.
Customers
because they got the money. You got the product.
Yeah. How many people do you know right now sell things using social media platforms and actually sell them before they produce them?
Well, that's the name of the game.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no loss in income. There's no loss. You are not making more than what you're going to sell. You're not getting stuck with inventory. There are so many ways to make money nowadays. That's why it's not just, my 12-week coaching program is, yes, network marketing. That is my thing. But multi-level marketers could benefit from my program. Direct sales companies or individuals can benefit from my program. And then I have a whole other offer for traditional companies and businesses that need some extra help with scaling what they have going on. And so I think that really when you think about who could benefit from my 12-week coaching program, anyone that has a dream and wants help going for it. That's who.
Mm. I thought of something earlier too, and I was thinking about the entrepreneur stuff and the business piece because you showed me Etsy. I didn't know about Etsy, by the way. You showed it to me. I was like, what? No, really, I didn't know about Etsy. So, see, Etsy been out there for a while, but now so many things been out there for a while, but now I didn't know. But I didn't know about Etsy when he sort of showed me like all these things that people pre-creating and they're sitting there he can use and just repurpose. I'm like, oh my god, I got so much ideas. I want to figure out how to organize around certain stuff, and it's there. I didn't notice, but there's so much things out there that other people are putting their dreams into. Like, I'm gonna do this thing, and oftentimes you a person that have a dream, you have something you want to work on, but you're afraid to do it. And I know why you're afraid because the vision is missing. And when you sit with somebody like, I can see a vision. Let me tell you exactly how you can create a plan and strategy for this vision and get it executed. And oftentimes you need people in your corner to do that. So,
Yep. I believe God gives you sight not to see, but so that you could have vision. And the vision that you have is meant for you. It's like prescription glasses. These prescription glasses are my prescription. Only I can see from these glasses. I give them to you, Asher. You can't see from them, right?
They're gonna be blurry.
Yes, it's not clear. It's blurry. It's hurt. It's giving you a headache. You cannot see through them. I believe that's how God works in our life, that he gives us a vision that is meant for us to see and not for everyone else to see. Will other people share your vision along the way? Yes, absolutely. But not everyone is intended to see the vision that you have in your heart and the path that you're taking towards going for it and realizing that your visions can become your reality. And when somebody doesn't believe in you, when somebody's a naysayer and trying to knock you down, eat it up. Eat it up. Why? Because that's how you know. That's how you know you are on that right path. That's how you know that those challenges that you are experiencing, the roadblocks, the people that are whispering in your ear, this is never going to work. That sounds crazy. Are you sure you're not being scammed? What are you in? Those are the people that are almost, if you can go from hearing what they're saying as negative to you are on the right path, you are going for something that I could never dream of going for, something I could never believe in doing for myself. Because that's what they're all saying when they're saying those things. And so now your goal is to walk that path, not alone, just not with those naysayers, and replacing those naysayers with people that believe in you.
We start off on the earlier question about the commitment and the courage piece. It ties back into that thing. You see the vision, you see the dream for yourself, and you let people prevent you from taking that commitment to it and the courage to it, because you won't get the capability and the confidence until you apply commitment and courage to it. You will have that vision and that dream and sit there and like people that talk you out of it. And because you're not committed enough, you never get it. Right? You're not committed enough, you will never show the courage to go towards it. And in the end, the capability and the confidence will never arrive. And you will sit in the same place and look at other people going after their dreams and wondering why.
Isn't that a horrible feeling though? To me, that has to feel like one of the worst feelings in the world, to see someone living the life that you dreamt of having, and knowing that it wasn't because you couldn't, but it's because you wouldn't.
So Daylan has a question here. And this one you spoke on earlier. It says, how is it different from any other pyramid business model? I think he's talking about when you do the network marketing thing and people say, oh, it's a pyramid, whatever. You mentioned it earlier, but you answer that question.
First off, pyramids are illegal. Are there some companies that have illegal practices, income practices, yes, because they've been on the news. I'm not going to say the names of them because there's still some people that work in those companies. But yes, there are, but there's litigation, they're in the news, they've been, judges have said they're pyramids. There's one in particular. Other companies that haven't been sustainable have actually changed their business models in most recent years. Beachbody, I believe, was one of those companies. They changed their business model. Rodan Fields changed the business model. So no longer an entrepreneurial opportunity, but now an affiliate marketing opportunity. And there is a difference, right? One is short-term quick money versus long-term income potential. And so when you're talking about what are the opportunities out there that are real or that are legitimate, multi-level marketing companies are real and legitimate. Do they benefit from partnerships? Absolutely. Do they get paid on levels? Absolutely. What does that mean? That I don't know every multi-level marketing company. I can't give you all the intricacies. I can give you a broad perspective of them as an industry and as a business. Are they illegal? No. Are there companies that you could never make more than the person who introduced you to the company? Yeah. But then you have other companies, such as the company that I work with, where that's not the case. We're not incentivized by people. We get paid on volume. And the reality is, it doesn't matter when you establish your business partnership, you actually have the ability to make more money than the person who introduced you to the business. There are very few opportunities where that is the case. Even when you think about a traditional job, you're never going to make any more money than your boss or the owner of the company. That just doesn't exist. That doesn't happen anywhere. So trying to find a good fit for what it is that you want, the goals that you want to accomplish, the product or the service that you resonate with. Because I'm going to say that to you. Yes, you need to believe in the business model, but equally, if not more important, you need to believe in the product and service that you're offering to people, because that is what's going to transcend that sale. It's that thing that's going to connect you to people because they feel you're not just selling it. They feel this is something you use. This is something a part of your life. This is something you believe in. And I think that when you're able to really capture that essence of your business, your product, your service, and speak to people from a place of cutting out the fluff and transparency and authenticity, if you're speaking to the right person, it doesn't matter. They're not going to be thinking, is this a pyramid? Is this a scheme? Is this a scam? Or how do I benefit from this opportunity? I'm going to put this question out there. How many opportunities or businesses do you know of that you could have a small initial investment? And small, I mean less than $5,000, to be able to create 6 figures sustainably? How many businesses? Do you know of any businesses like that, Asher? Outside of this industry? I know.
So here's something I'll add to that too, because when you think about the question around, let me go back to the question here of the pyramid thing or the business model, so forth and so on. And I see, for me personally, when I'm presenting the thing that I believe in, I think if you don't believe it, you should never sell it. And first thing you sell on anything, you gotta sell yourself on it. And if you don't believe in it, so I figure out my area of genius, my area of unique ability, is where I want to build a relationship around. So I'm talking to somebody, like, if you're not in this area, I don't really want to work with you, because if I decide I'm going to work with you, we're going to have a conversation that I'm not even interested in. So the people I want to hang out around with, build business with, is people that are interested in the same thing I'm interested in, because when we get together, now there's a lot of creativity, because those are the people for me. So I'm building partnership based on people that are interested in the same thing I'm interested in, because I'm going to spend a lot of time with you, and I don't want to hang around with somebody that's talking crazy. No. So if I meet you, I'm like, oh, you're not the kind of person I want to be around with, but I'm not going to build business with you, because I don't want to be around you. So even though you might be great at sales, you're still not the guy for me. I don't want to be around you. So that makes a difference for me when I'm building partnerships, so forth and so on.
So I have a question for you, Asher, even though this is my Q&A. How did you know, for example, that I was someone you wanted to work with?
When I meet you and we talked and I get to know you, get relationship building. So I spend a lot of time talking to people, building a relationship before I even talk to them about anything else, right? Because I'm like, I'm thinking about a 10-year relationship when I meet somebody. Are you a person I'm gonna have a 10-year relationship with? If it's a no, I am not gonna tell you about anything I'm doing really. Why? Because no, because it's my time now, right? I did 22 years in the military there, Jessica. I put that stuff behind me. Everything going forward is people I'm really interested in hanging around with. Those relationships are very important to me. So I'm not going to talk about business, building business with you if I don't want to hang around you. Because I'm gonna get stuck with you as a business partner, and I don't like you. I don't get along with you. Well, I'm not gonna do that, right? But yeah, this is me personally.
But what was it about me specifically?
Oh, you're talking about? Oh, you want to know?
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. You were very committed. You have a lot of courage, right? And then you have really good energy for me, and you inspire me to think about stuff a lot more differently. And I remember when I think I met you. It was in one of those events. I think it was in Connecticut, maybe.
Yes. We had known each other before that, but I think that's when we met in person.
In person, in
In person
person.
for the
And I
first
was
time.
like, Jessica, we're gonna do stuff. I'm like, automatic. I met you. Your energy was right because you can read energy, right? It's just like we
Mhm.
talk about when you smell somebody, you can tell that person smell good or bad. So I've been around. I'm like, oh yeah, this person got a really good energy. So I was like, I'm down with this lady here. We gotta do some stuff. But yeah, and plus you show up, Jess. This is another thing. You show up. I know a lot of people. You say, "Oh, we can put on the calendar," and they keep changing, keep adjusting. I'm like, this person right there, we're not doing nothing. You cancel on me twice. I'm like, nah, bro, you ain't the kind of person because you don't commit to your word. You say you're gonna be somewhere, I'm gonna be there, right? I'm not gonna cancel last minute. I'm gonna tell you, you know what, I can't, but I'm gonna be there, Jess. I'm gonna show up like, hey, you know what, we gotta change today because this happened, but I'm here to let you know that we're gonna change today. But people don't do that. I'm saying people cancel. I'm like, when I see them, I smile. I'm like, I'm glad you canceled because I know who you are now. We ain't
Yes.
doing anything else.
Yes. I cancel when I don't want to do something with somebody. I will reschedule when just the timing or something came up
Mm-hmm.
or the timing isn't working out, but I'll
Mm-hmm.
reschedule. And I'll say I go when I need to reschedule, I will say, I do believe, and this was also a lesson that took a long time to learn. I don't owe anybody explanations of anything. None of
Mm-hmm.
us do. We're all adults. But out of respect for somebody, especially somebody that I have a long term working relationship or friendship with, I'll give them the reason why X, Y, and Z came up. Can we reschedule? I won't say, can we cancel today? No,
Mm-hmm.
can we reschedule today? Why? Because this is a priority to me. I want to make sure I keep this on my calendar. And when I say, can we reschedule, I'm offering the next available dates and times or
Mm-hmm.
asking them, are they available on this day, this time? So that we can lock in that new, because this is something that's important to me and I committed to saying yes, and it's something that I want to do. When I
Mm-hmm.
cancel on somebody and don't make that reschedule offer, for those of you listening, it's because something in my heart changed and it's not meant for me anymore.
We're gonna wrap up, but I was saying you pay attention to that. The person you pay attention to that because that person tell you who they are,
Yep.
and you gotta make sure you filter those people out of your life because they're gonna waste your time. And I learned that lesson a couple of times. I'm like, okay, good. Now I know. I don't get offended when somebody says, yeah, get away from me, right?
Mhm.
I want people that's gonna progress forward. Okay, we got a hard break in 2 minutes. So Jess, there was some awesome questions today. So thank you so much for answering for the community, folks that are open to asking you these questions. The closing question I have for you is like maybe how do you see the industry evolve in the next 5 years? You want to answer that question? That's a closing question from Keisha here.
All right. So, how do I see the industry evolving in the next 5 years? I do believe that technology
Mm-hmm.
is going to become the new norm of building business, not just an optional tool, but a required tool in order to excel in sales, but using technology properly to be able to not just attract sales and business partnerships, but to create long term opportunities using technology the right way. And so the right way, that's something a lot of people are still in the process of learning. A lot of people are scared of technology. When you talk about even age as a limitation, people think that the younger you are, the more comfortable you are with technology. Yeah, that may be the case. But me, in my age, uh, I feel good about using technology. I get excited about using technology. And even when you talk about people that are older in their 60s and their 70s that are building businesses as side hustles to create that long term wealth for their grandbabies and their children, using technology is within reach for them. Maybe
Mhm.
it's modified how they use the technology in the sense that they're not doing all of the things and they have somebody helping them do some of those things, but they're still using technology in order to grow and scale businesses. And so I think that getting comfortable with technology, but in order for technology to work properly, there needs to be the human factor.
Get you a smart person between you and the technology, and you'll be all right too. All right,
Yeah.
Jess, we got to wrap up, folks. This was very powerful about it. Thank you so much, Jeff, for answering the question. And folks, it was a pleasure hanging out with you guys today. If you got more questions, let us know. We're gonna do some more Q&A too with Jess. Q&A with Jess. That was very awesome. Hey, tune into Idea Tennis podcast where we make ideas work. Any last word, Jess, before we close out?
So I'm excited. The Hustle with Heart coaching program is live. Right now, you can secure your spot. There's only 20 spots in the community this first time around. I'll be offering this program 3 times a year. You get 90 minutes of weekly live coaching with me. You get live Q&A. You also get access to a private community where you get to tap into not only me and my know-how, but everyone in the community's know-how, where it's a place that you can exchange ideas. What I love about my offer right now is that once you've locked in your spot and you join that private community, you're in the community forever, which means that not only will you be able to add value, but you'll continue to receive value from being a part of the Hustle with Heart community that I'm growing. So you can find us online at hustlewithheart.online. It'll be in the show notes. Make sure you check it out. We go live for our first weekly session, March 3rd.
All right, with that, folks, making an utterly fantastic day.